my second question to Celine will be, what is your favorite thing and least favorite thing about working together? 55 seconds, go.
Okay, that's hard.
Welcome back to Oh My Pod. I'm Justin.
And I'm Celine.
And today's going to be a super different episode. We are going to ask each other a series of questions, 4 questions each, back and forth. And we are only going to have 1 minute on a timer to answer these questions. So the point of this is to get quick answers rather than rambling on. And also it's going to be a bit of fun because we're not going to have much time to think about what we're saying. We don't know what the other person's going to ask. And then also, the main reason why we're doing this is because we want to have people on our podcast, you guys get to know who we are a little bit better, but also we're trying to make some really good content for social media. And for that purpose, we need it to be under a minute in order to have it be good for, reels and stuff. And so we thought this would be a fun way to kind of give podcast listeners like a behind the scenes, because you're going to hear us like pressing the timer in between, whereas on social media, they won't hear that. So we're just going to like go for it and ask each other some questions.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So I've got the timer. What I'll do is I will ask the question and then I will put 1 minute on the clock, or should I even put less on the clock because maybe I'll put like 55 seconds on the clock so I can include the asking the question as well. Sound good? You know what I mean by that or no?
Oh, so that the minute is with the question included?
Exactly. So I'll actually put...
Or you just start the timer before then.
No, I'll put 55 seconds on the clock. Let's do that. 55 seconds per question. So then the question will be included. So this is a behind the scenes sort of thing. Okay, here we go. So the first question that I will ask Celine is, how did we meet? Go.
So I knew about Justin because my best friend from back home, he is a producer and a DJ, and he actually found Justin on Fiverr, and they just started doing songs together. So I had just like listened to whatever he was producing, and Justin's voice was on it. So I was like, oh, who's this guy? And he's like, just some Canadian guy, blah, blah, blah. And so...
She's from Italy, by the way.
Yeah, I'm Italian. So we followed each other on social media, and then afterwards, like a year or something like that afterwards, I actually decided to travel Canada, and it like just took me to the city that he lives in, which is Kelowna, which is where we live now, and we just thought it would be fun to go out for drinks, and the rest is history.
Good job. Nice. Perfect. That was awesome.
Yeah. Thanks.
Usually that story takes like 5 minutes and it's like both of us going back and forth.
Yeah, because we don't like what the other person is saying, so we correct them.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, so Celine is from Italy, and we did long distance for like 10 months afterwards, because we couldn't be together at the time because she was working there, I was working here, and so we did long distance and we made it work. Yeah. And yeah, like she said, the rest is history. It usually is a longer story, but that worked really well. Yeah. Okay, so
it's at least it answers the question.
It does answer the question.
Why is a Canadian dating an Italian?
Exactly, and why are we living in Kelowna?
Because usually when I tell people I'm dating a Canadian, then they always ask me, "Is it a hockey player?" And I'm like, "Nope."
Honestly,
he is not.
Such a stereotype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's my turn now.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So I'm asking and then I'm starting.
Okay, and make sure to show the camera the time.
Really?
Yeah, like build the hype.
Do people not trust me?
Put it like right close up. I'll grab this.
So here's a timer. Justin, why did you start Podigy?
Why did I start Podigy? I
did not start it.
Oh, you didn't start the timer. Okay, go. We only have a minute.
It didn't work.
Okay, I started Podigy because, I was an audio geek. So I was really editing a lot of music, producing a lot of music. And a couple of people came up and asked, hey, I know you produce music. Do you think you could produce a podcast? I said, sure, I don't know, why not? And I actually really enjoyed it. So I produced these people's podcasts for a while. But as I was doing that, I saw a lot of opportunities for their podcast to improve and to grow and expand in new ways. And I realized that the podcasting industry was a burgeoning industry, first of all, so there was a lot of opportunity. But number two, audio was not going to be enough. So then it became audio plus the writing for the show notes, and then plus the publishing and the management, and then the emails, and then now it's video and content and artwork and everything. So what started out as a passion for audio ended up being an entire business around producing a podcast altogether. Good. I did it.
Good job.
Okay, 55 seconds on the clock, and I actually did it.
I was really doubting it at some point. I was like, nah, he's not gonna make it.
I'm not gonna wrap it back. No, I have a good mental timer, I think.
Oh, really? You do?
Yeah, I do.
I see.
Okay, my next one. Let me grab this iPad here and ask you. Okay. I have to open documents. Oh, it's updating. Oh, that's great.
Awesome.
Google Docs is upgrading. Let me see if I can, or updating. Let me see if I can remember what I said.
Oh, do you want the timer?
Yes, I want the timer. Okay. I think I can remember. Yes, I can remember. Okay. I don't even need that. Let's put it away. Wait. Okay. So my second question to Celine will be, what is your favorite thing and least favorite thing about working together? 55 seconds, go.
Okay, that's hard. My favorite thing is, I don't know, I think most of it is my favorite thing. I really like it. I really like that we are working at the same time so we can have our free time together.
That's really true.
I like that we're always in the loop what's going on with each other's work life, so it's never, we're just always in the loop. And then we can travel together and still continue to work. I also really like that we push each other because we know so well what's going on in the business. So we really push each other sometimes. And my least favorite thing is that obviously because we are a couple and not just work, we don't just have a work relationship. We treat each other very differently sometimes, which is kind of...
Oh, it's done.
Yeah.
I knew where you were going with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to stop working and to go back to just relaxing
No,
together.
that's not what I meant.
Oh, okay.
What I meant was that because we are in a relationship, not just in a work relationship, we treat each other differently than regarding work than you would treat someone that you are only working with.
Right, yeah, of course.
That's what I mean. So that sometimes gets tricky. Not all the time, just sometimes.
Yeah. No,
so
I understand
I would
exactly
definitely
what you
say
mean.
that that's kind of a downside. And what you said, though, is really true as well.
Yeah, sometimes we'll be on a walk.
That you can't shut it off sometimes.
Yeah, we'll be on a walk
but
and we'll
you just have to be mindful about that, I guess, and try to shut it off, right? You can't just always think about and talk about the business.
Okay. Here's the timer.
Okay. Here's the timer. So, Justin, what's your favorite thing, your favorite hobby outside of work?
Oh, my favorite hobby outside of work. I probably have two. My first one would be spike ball. I don't know if you know what spike ball is, but it's there's a little round net on the ground and you play with 4 people, teams of 2, and you just spike the ball, the net. And it kind of looks like a simple game, but there's so much nuance, which is what I love about it. I'm really competitive, and so I like when there's an opportunity to get a competitive advantage over another player because you've practiced something more than them or something like that. So that's what intrigues me about that. And then the second one would be poker, Texas Hold'em. So 2-card poker. I've played a lot of poker. Also really love that game. It's probably the most strategic game I've ever played. it's all about like what people are thinking, and it really mirrors business and business negotiations, which I really love. And that is the end of my time. I did it again.
Woo!
I feel like I'm on fire with
Applause.
those. Okay.
Maybe Micah can add in an applause.
Clap, 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 clap. Okay, good. So my turn.
Oh, the timer.
The timer.
I always forget about it.
Okay.
There you go.
And if I look down, I can see the questions that you're going to ask me, so I'm not going to look down. Okay. So 55 seconds on the clock. My next question for you, Celine, is what is your why for Podigy?
My why would be I really want to give somebody like our clients a platform where they can speak, where they can talk about whatever they're passionate about or whatever they're working on. And it's I guess that's why it's really important to me that the people that we work with really resonate with what we do in our lives, especially regarding health, well-being, nutrition, and so on and so forth. So my why would be to share these insanely important messages that are not being shared enough to people so that they can have access to it for free. And because I remember I was struggling with my health a few years back and I had no idea where to turn to. And is the timer up already?
The timer's up already.
Oh my God, I cannot believe it.
That's fine. You can continue for the podcast, people.
So yeah, like I did not know where to turn to. And so a podcast about health or whatever concerns that I had at the time would have really helped me, but I could not find that at the time, sadly.
Yeah, agreed.
So, and can I add something else? So my ultimate goal would be creating a podcast for either Barbara O'Neill or Natasha Campbell McBride, which sadly both very difficult to happen because they're like a little bit older, I would say, than most of the podcast generation. So I'm not sure if that's
and
tangible.
Those are nutrition people, like people or lifestyle nutrition
and
people.
I love those two women, and that would be the ultimate thing.
Okay. Next. Okay, here we go.
Okay. Timer.
1 minute, 55 seconds on the clock.
Yeah. So, what are your plans for your music career?
For music, I don't even know if everybody knows this on the Podigy side, but my life is kind of split between this business and music. And my goals for music would be, for about 6 months, I spent doing this full time. I was writing like 3 songs a day. I wrote like 300 songs in like 6 months. And this is all for the dance industry. And the dance industry is really big in Europe, especially around the Netherlands. So next year, when we move to Italy for a year, I'm going to try and get into songwriting sessions with some of these artists that I've been working with and try and work my way up in the dance music world. And one of my goals would be to be one of the number one singers in the dance industry and to tour around Europe with some of the big artists that I'm doing songs with and perform our songs live on stage with them. That would be one of the most amazing things that I could imagine. My time's probably up, right?
Just now.
Hey.
Great job. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Crushing it.
Thank you.
But that's like a known thing. I usually talk more than Justin does. Like I talk for longer.
Yeah.
And I'm like a very like
you like sharing.
Yeah, and then sometimes I hop from one thing into the next and it can go on forever. And like my brain is I never had ADHD or anything like that, but I feel like sometimes when I speak, it's exactly like that because I will pick up one topic and then I go to the next and the next and the next and the next, and nobody knows why other than me.
Okay, so my last question, which might be similar to the other one, but I still think that there's a couple differences. So 55 seconds on the clock. What excites you most about Podigy? Well,
yeah, I think this really ties in with what I said before. To me, it's really important So what excites me is getting people on that share messages that are not talked about enough, like whether it is nutritional things, health things, well-being things, or even political stuff, like everything that is not talked enough about, or even that, that the mainstream social media tries to kind of like hide a bit, or the general media will try to hide a bit. Those kind of voices, I want them to be heard, and that's what excites me, to spread truth and to spread truth, I guess. That's what really excites me.
Yeah, good answer. I've been saying recently that it'd be, I guess the ultimate goal would be to spread the message of people who are making the world a better place.
Yes.
Like
exactly.
actually
Correct.
a better place for our future kids and for the next generation. And yeah, that's sort of what I've been thinking recently.
Yeah. Last one.
So I get 55 seconds. You kind of have to say like 55 seconds on the clock so that like they can add that into the clip. See, I'm always thinking one step ahead.
Yeah.
Right?
They can just put it on.
Yeah, they can edit it too. Yeah, visually.
I would definitely say so. So,
Yeah.
okay. So, last thing.
Last question. Let's do it.
Yeah. So, what problem does Podigy solve?
Podigy solves quite a few problems, but the main one would probably be for entrepreneurs and for people who are trying to build a personal brand and turn themselves into an authority or a leader within their industry. It takes a lot of time to sit down and create content from scratch and to formulate content and then to have it edited up and all that stuff. And so the main problem that Podigy solves is that we take your 1-hour podcast interview with somebody. So all you have to do is talk to somebody. Conversations are easy for most people. So you talk with someone interesting and then you leave it. And just from that conversation, we can create all the content that you need to grow yourself into an industry leader and into an authority within your industry, just from repurposing that content. So it's sort of like it saves people 4 to 8 hours of work every week. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, something like that. So it saves people time, and it's a way of kind of killing two birds with one stone.
Yes, I agree.
Which is great for entrepreneurs because and for business owners because there's and for coaches obviously because there's not a lot of extra time in their lives already, and they need time to spend with their families and all that. And so this would be the main problem that it solves.
Yeah, perfect. So I was like, this was kind of my idea to do a more personal episode. I was like,
I had the 1 minute idea though.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, give me credit.
Sorry. I was just thinking that people probably kind of need to know something about us because they might know nothing at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so, well, if anybody's interested in knowing a bit more, then we can definitely do another one of these or something similar.
Yeah, and you can check
down the line.
You can check these clips that we just did out at Podigy Podcasts on Instagram. Yeah. So we're going to be posting all those. And you saw the behind the scenes, so you can see what it looks like once it's edited up by our team.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. I hope you enjoy this kind of off-brand episode. And next week we'll be getting back to regular programming that you signed up for. But yeah, that was fun.
That was great.
Thanks. Before you go, I'd like to mention 2 things. First of all, if you enjoyed the show, please leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. This really helps a ton. Second, if you want us to produce your podcasts or want to inquire about Podigy's services, or if you have any questions that you'd like to see answered on the show, please send us an email at ohmypod@podigypodcasts.com.